Welcome to the EarlyON. We offer programs for children and families with children 0 to 6 years of age. Hello, my name is Maria. Today we're going to do a cooking activity, one that you could do with your kids or one that you could do to make for your kids. Today we're going to be making raspberry ice cream in a bag. This is definitely something that the kids would have fun doing. They could basically do the whole thing because the recipe is pretty easy, and it'll give them something to do because they're going to be shaking the ice cream and making it in a bag. So we're going to start off with a Ziploc bag. So we're going to, a trick that I learned is to put the bag into a bowl or a cup so the bag stands up, because you're going to be adding liquid and sugar and raspberries and stuff to the bag, so it just helps it to stand up instead of just having to hold the bag and whatever. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take a cup of half and half cream. So you're not going to use coffee cream or whipping cream, it has to be half and half cream. So I'm going to pour this into my bag, into the Ziploc bag. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is add raspberries. Now, you could add raspberries, but you could make it strawberry, you could make it blueberry, whatever kind of ice cream you like. You're just going to add whatever kind of fruit you like. So it says a half a cup. The recipe will be in this video at some point, so you'll be able to have a visual of what the recipe is. So I'm going to add some raspberries to my bag here. All right. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to add is sugar. It calls for a quarter cup of sugar. That's about a quarter cup. Because this doesn't involve any heat or stove or anything, it's something that the kids could do from start to finish. Maybe just help them with the reading if they need help with the reading. Okay, and then we're going to add a little bit of vanilla extract. So it's a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So I'm going to put that here. Add that. That just gives it a nice flavor. If you wanted to make different flavors, I was thinking you could do a chocolate mint. So instead of adding vanilla, you could add a mint flavor, and then maybe add some chocolate milk to the recipe. I don't know, just give it a try. I don't know, I haven't tried it, but you could give it a try and see if it works. Okay, and the other thing is 2 tablespoons of evaporated milk. Now, I bought evaporated milk that was thicker, so this is a thicker, but you can use just the evaporated milk that comes in the can. It doesn't have to be the thick one. So I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of that to my bag. Okay, then you're going to zip this closed and try to get out as much air as you can. Okay, zip it closed. Get out as much air as you can. And then you're going to put this in another Ziploc bag. It does need to be double bagged because you're going to be adding it to a bag with ice and salt, so you want to make sure that the ice and the salt does not get mixed in with the ice cream. Okay, so I'm putting it in my bag, and I'm going to take all the air out of this bag as well, as much air as I can. Okay, so we're going to add the ice to another bag. Alrighty, and in the bag with the ice, we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of salt. I have coarse salt here, but you could use just regular salt. And I'm going to pour it in to my ice. There we go. Zip it closed. Okay, zip this closed. Okay, I'm going to put this inside of this second bag. Alrighty, so you've got salt and ice in the one bag, and you've got the ice cream mixture in the other bag. Now this is the fun part for the kids. You can send them outside. They can make all the noise they like, because it is going to be noisy, because they're going to shake and press and squeeze and continue to do that until the cream turns into ice cream. Okay, so you're just going to kind of manipulate the bag this way and that way. You're going to shake the bag. And I did make some yesterday, so I have some in a container already made. I will show you what it looks like. So here we go. I did freeze this because I made it yesterday, so it does really look like ice cream, and it tastes a lot like ice cream too. It tastes pretty good. So for just a fun summer treat to cool you off, and if the kids have a lot of energy, definitely try this. Send them outside, let them shake it, like they'll throw it in the air as long as they catch it and it doesn't break. And keep on moving it, and eventually you will have ice cream. So thank you for joining us today for our EarlyON activity.